How can I pay off my mortgage faster? So that's a great question. Most mortgages start at 30 years, and most people don't live in their house for 30 years, or they don't want the mortgage for 30 years. So they want to know, how can we pay this off quicker? Now, keep in mind, there are some advantages to having a mortgage. Mortgage debt is very different than credit card debt or car debt. So before you pay off your mortgage completely, make sure you have the conversation with your accountant or personal finance officer or financial advisor to make sure it's the smartest decision possible, because you do have some benefits to having a mortgage when it comes, especially when it comes to your taxes. That being said, so how do we pay off our mortgage faster? Well, it's by making periodic payments to principal. Now, most of your mortgages allow you to pay principal with your monthly payment. And what that means is you're going to pay your monthly payment and add a little bit more to it. So let's say your monthly mortgage payment is $3,500, you send in 38. The remaining $300 of that payment is going to go right to principal. Now, that might not affect your mortgage in the long run immediately. Some people say that if you structure your loan with a bi-weekly payment, okay, that's where every other week, half of your mortgage payment gets paid to the servicer. Now, some servicers don't allow this to be done automatically. So, if that's the case, then what you want to do is you want to make one whole payment. That's including principal, interest, taxes, insurance, everything. One whole payment extra every 6 months. It'll do the same thing. So every 6 months, just double up your payment. It's going to do the same thing as paying your mortgage biweekly. Now, ultimately, what does that do? That's going to cut about 7 to 10 years off your mortgage. Okay, depending on the mortgage, depending on your rate, depending on a lot of different factors, but on average, it's going to save you 7 to 10 years. The other thing that can help you pay your mortgage off faster is by refinancing. What are you talking about? Refinancing? Yes, refinancing. So a lot of times people refinance and they think it's just to access the equity. That's not always the case. You can do something called a rate and term refinance, and you can shorten your term from a 30-year to a 20 to a 25. You can do a 15-year, or you can do a 10-year. So if things have changed financially and you can afford more money towards your principal and interest and towards your mortgage, that might be a good solution. Because here's the other thing. The shorter the term on the mortgage, the lower the interest rate. So you might be in a position right now where you can afford more money every single month through your principal and interest or your mortgage. This might be a great time for you to think about, well, let me see what my interest rate would be if I refinanced. Because now you're paying less in interest. Okay, you're paying less money in interest, more money's going to go towards that principal, and it's still working within your budget. So those are some of the tips and tricks that you can pay off your mortgage sooner. It's all about paying off that principal, okay? Whether you put the money in a savings account and you do one lump sum once a month, or once a year, or every 6 months, however you decide to pay more on that principal, that will always pay off your loan sooner. But the biggest thing is going to be that refinance. Always be looking, I would say maybe once a year, look at your finances, do a financial review with your loan officer to say, hey, here's where I'm at now. How can I utilize my mortgage to help me be in a better financial position? Here are my goals. Okay. They're going to be the ones that can outline the data for you and give you the numbers you need to make the wisest decision on paying off your loan quicker. Okay. Um, you can do the whole thing. You can look at it like your amortization schedule, and there are online calculators that'll tell you exactly how much to add to your principal to pay it off in a certain amount. That's all fine and good. That's great. Again, as long as you're in a position to pay all that, you don't really need to go crazy. Honestly, all you really need to know is, okay, how soon do I want to pay it off? How much more principal do I need to add to it? And what are my options as far as, does it make sense just to refinance into that term? Or is it just adding X amount of dollars every single month? Use your loan officer. They're there to help you even after the purchase. That's why I always do yearly reviews with my clients to see where they're at and what their goals are for real estate the next year. And that really helps them understand their options. So That's what I would say if you want to pay your loan off early. If you have any other additional questions, feel free to leave a comment and like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.